Good evening, welcome to Have I Got News For You? I'm Gary Lineker. In the news this week, at the crucial moment with the opposition in disarray and an open goal gaping, surely the striker can't miss. In Yorkshire, England cricket captain Joe Root starts to worry that his new dog isn't going to work out. As the UK prepares to leave the European Space Agency, plans are underway for a new British space programme. And in Westminster, someone finds themselves on Santa's naughty list.
Well, I'm grateful for that. You should be ashamed of yourself.
On Ian's team tonight, she was recently ranked number 75 on a list of the 100 most influential people on the left. Sounds impressive, but Ryan Giggs is still at 24. Please welcome Ayesha Hazarika. And with Paul tonight is a comedian who was the youngest member of the Noel Coward Society. Oddly enough, I was the youngest member of the Football Coward Society. Please welcome Tom Allen. And we start with the biggest stories of the week. Ian and Ayesha, take a look at this.
Oh, that's the Prime Minister. Still. Boris banging the table. Oh, and she's still there.
And nothing has changed.
So Mrs May, she won. The Tory party was full of them, Ian Duncan Smith, who actually faced a vote of no confidence. Do you remember he was Tory leader once? Yeah. He lost. He didn't just win by not very much. He lost completely and was removed. There he is in the studio saying, no, it was a bad night for her. Only compared to being sacked for being utterly useless.
Never even faced an election, did he?
No.
Although Theresa May didn't face a proper leadership contest either, because she had to go up against Andrea Leadsom, and that's like winning Wimbledon against the wheelie bin.
This is the vote of no confidence in Theresa May, which has achieved absolutely nothing at all. Let's see what the people of Southampton think about it.
Theresa May is still your Prime Minister this morning. How do you feel about that?
I couldn't care less.
But that poor woman was just walking up between those, like, that disused German Christmas market, minding her own business. Someone comes out with a microphone and goes, Theresa May is still your Prime Minister? I mean, you're lucky she didn't scream and run away.
Well, to be fair, she is in the cabinet.
It's all very boring, though, isn't it? That just goes on and on for so long. And you sort of think, wouldn't it be great if, like, maybe the Queen could organise some sort of tiebreaker where they have to answer a question or pull a cracker or do some sort of, like, tough mudder.
Penalty shootout.
A penalty shootout, I believe you would call it in your world, Gary. I don't understand it myself. Like, just do something, because it just doesn't seem to move forward. Like, we were like, oh, there's going to be the big vote on Tuesday. Oh, no, it's not happening. Oh, well, maybe Theresa May will go, no, she won't. And so how long will this continue, that we're just all sort of going, something big's going to happen any day now?
We've got till March.
But have we got too much? Because they're saying they're going to push that back.
Well, they keep delaying everything, so she delayed the vote. She's now kicked it into January. I think they might delay the start of 2019. That might actually happen.
Maybe
and
Christmas could be moved back. It will be
everything.
like Narnia. We'll just forever be in winter, never Christmas.
What's surprising, though, about the number of votes that Theresa May got?
That so many people voted against her.
Or is it more surprising how many people voted for her?
I suppose it depends what you think of her.
Good point.
Rees-Mogg was indicating that, you know, this was going to be a huge defeat, which it was for himself. Personally, I thought he made an idiot of himself. I don't know about anyone else. You see, people's vote.
I wanted Theresa May, when she won that vote, to sort of come out in front of the RG dancing to the song, you know, I'm Still Standing, flicking them the V's. That's what I really wanted her to do. I was like, go on, girl, do it.
That's the only person who's ever wanted to see Theresa dance.
The ERG
You'll have to explain who they are.
So they're just right-wing nutters in the Conservative Party.
Then why aren't they called the RWN?
Someone's taken the name.
UKIP.
Well, I watched Jacob Rees-Mogg going around saying that, in many ways, Mrs May hadn't won. Because she'd got 2/3 of the vote to 1/3. And when it was 52-48, he didn't seem to take that view. He said, you know, you lost, and I just wanted to run up to him and go, suck it up, loser!
Well, it's amazing.
Have you been watching EastEnders or something?
I'm infused with the spirit of Mr Dyer.
Yes.
That was a bit embarrassing for Jacob, but he's got one supporter. Any guesses who that might be?
His wife. His nanny.
Well, actually, it's my old teammate, Peter Shilton, who tweeted, "I have been so impressed with Jacob Rees-Mogg in the last few days. He really knows what he's talking about and puts it across in a calm and calculated manner."
Who's Peter Shilton?
Peter Shilton is a former goalkeeper of England,
Yeah, he played backstop.
who was actually... What did May have to agree to in order to cling to power?
She had to say that she would go before the next general election.
I mean, I thought it would be the end of the week. So it's not a bad kicking the can down. And anyway, nobody wants the job.
Is it a good job, do you think, to have? Like, you get the nice house, you get a fast car. What else do you get?
Nice weekend home?
Nice
Yeah,
weekend
Chequers
home.
is lovely.
What's so lovely about it?
It's just like sort of nice posh mini break for the weekend. It's just really... Yeah, I think you would like it.
I think I would like it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do the job.
Yes, she wouldn't stand for the election. The BBC's Laura Kunsberg reported that this led to ministers crying, while Health Secretary Matt Hancock said that there had been a real warmth in the room. Oh, with that many people over 60, this time of year, you've got to keep the heating up.
They get an allowance, don't they?
Do they?
Winter fuel allowance.
Oh, yeah,
I
absolutely.
bet they use it all over that House of Commons.
Absolutely.
Especially the House of Lords.
Oh, yes, otherwise they'd just die in a cold snap.
They do.
A whole lot of them gone down
It's like
the back of one of
Lourdes.
those chairs.
How did the Radio 4 continuity announcer reflect the sombre mood of the nation on Wednesday afternoon?
Did they get drunk? Started singing?
Not quite.
Mispronouncing people's names?
Not quite.
No.
Let's have a listen.
Oh, yeah, go on, yeah.
Go on,
It's the special
have a
best
listen.
way, isn't it?
This is BBC Radio 4. Now, if you thought Westminster was in crisis, Brian's looking for his reading glasses in the Arches.
That puts it all in perspective, doesn't it?
How did a radio listener called Stephen from Bournemouth perfectly sum up how the nation feels about Brexit this week?
Presumably he phoned in. It was a phone-in, was it, on Radio Bournemouth?
It was certainly a phone-in.
It's only a phone-in.
Let's have a look.
Joey in Bournemouth has been waiting for, let me just see my screen here, 35 minutes.
And you're going to blame it on me now, are you?
No, we believe he's fallen asleep because we think we can hear him snoring. All right? So let's just pump this up and see. So, Joey, what do you think of Brexit? And this meaningful vote next Tuesday, Joy.
Some people think the vote of confidence that was called on Wednesday evening was so that MPs could get out of going to the Christmas Conservative Party, which was being held where?
Was it in a brewery?
No, would you believe the Cuckoo Club? This is a strange question. Why have Shawaddy been dragged into the Tory infighting? Surely none of you know this.
Shawaddy Waddy, are they backing Andrea Leadsom?
Actually, it was Tory MP Andrew Bridgen compared government ministers' tour around the UK to try and sell Theresa May's deal to Leicester's and therefore the world's finest pop group. Let's have a look.
It seems rather desperate, this ministers touring all over the country like some sort of Shawaddy Waddy comeback tour. And that's offensive to people who like Shawaddy Waddy.
Shall we have a bit of Shawaddy Waddy?
Yeah, please do.
This was #1 at Christmas in 1976.
Let's have a sing-song.
Magnificent. Dave Bartram,
Yeah, it's good.
at his absolute best.
I'd
And
hate
if
to be wearing the same jacket as Shawty was. Slightly awkward.
everything comes back eventually. And if that didn't cheer you up, would you like to see Chief Secretary to the Treasury, Liz Truss, making some black pudding?
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Do they not have any PR people?
I tell you what, though, she's definitely done that before.
Stop it.
Yes, here we are at the end of an extraordinary week and a result that took us all by surprise. Spurs drawing 1-1 in Barcelona.
Yeah.
The Daily Mail helpfully provided pictures of some possible Tory leadership contenders, including Sajid Javid and Dominic Raab, though I'm not sure they're throwing their weight behind Michael Gove. One minister has compared Britain's hopeless situation in the EU negotiations to the moment in a game of chess when any move you make puts you in a worse position, which is known by the German word Zugzwang. There is, of course, another German word that sums up the situation.
In einer Sphäre befinden, in der wir uns noch nicht so gut auskennen. Ich habe früher dazu mal Neuland gesagt. Es hat mir einen großen Shitstorm.
Paul and Tom, take a look at this. It's your turn.
Oh,
Great, lovely,
good.
lovely.
Thank God.
So this is the French president, Monsieur Macron.
So handsome.
This is...
Oh, yeah. And the vests and the diving and the squared background. It's a lovely trellis he's got at the back. I bet he's great at gardening as well as
Do you think
handsome.
so?
Oh, yeah, I'd love to be married to him.
Would you?
Yeah, I'm not old enough.
He's not that old, is he?
Nobody likes older people, I think.
Does he?
His partner's a bit older than him.
Oh, is she?
It's very romantic.
Is it?
Yeah, I think she was his teacher.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you not know this?
No.
Oh, you'd love it.
Would I?
I'll send you the book.
All right. So, yeah, they've been protesting in France, I believe.
Gilet jaune, the yellow gilet. Personally, I couldn't possibly be part of it because I don't like gilets.
No.
And I can't wear yellow.
Can't you really?
I find it very draining.
Do you?
Do you wear it? Do you?
Yeah, I just not visibly, but I wear it underneath stuff.
Really? Which is ironic because it's high vis.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what?
What?
I was on my way to a
Yes.
festival once and I'd forgotten to buy a coat.
Yes.
And so I stopped at a petrol station.
Yeah.
And they had those jackets there.
Yes.
You know, the yellow ones.
Yes.
And I bought one.
Yes.
It was cheap.
Yes.
It is so warm.
Yes.
And you know the best thing?
What?
You can go anywhere you like with it on. You wear a high-vis jacket, walk in, say, I'm here to fix the fire alarms. They go, yeah, come on in. Go anywhere you like. I went to Thorpe Park.
They just sound more sophisticated, don't they? The Gilets jaunes. It just sounds, you know... I remember when we had our field protest, we just had a few blokes from Eddie Stobart that turned up at DEFRA with some high-vis jackets. It just wasn't quite as glamorous, basically.
In France, you have to carry a gilet jaune in your car, compulsorily.
Oh, really?
So everyone's got one anyway. You can just put it on, you join the protest.
Ah.
At the moment, though, you may get shot, so...
And can you imagine as well if you had got, like, a flat tyre or something? I mean, it would be so annoying, wouldn't it? Just like, no, you don't understand. My Citroen has just broken down. Marched off, having to throw things at people, put a ski mask on like that bloke had in the film. Oh, it would be very annoying.
The French like to be defined by an item of clothing. Today, it's the gilet jaune. In the French Revolution, it was the sans-culotte. And in the Second World War, it was les bruns pantalons. Did you see that President Macron went on live TV to try and put an end to the violence?
He made several proposals, didn't he? Or he caved in on a couple of things. Is it sort of fuel prices for pensioners, something like that? The French do have a history of, you know, rebellion. And it's best to stay on the side of the French population as much as you can, really.
Well, here he is.
That's a desk and a half, isn't it?
See, if I was him, I would have worn a hat that looks just like those lampshades. That's what I would have done.
What were the original complaints about?
Fuel prices, wasn't that the main thing?
Yeah, carbon tax on fuel.
I mean, we're having a go at Theresa May for incompetence. Come on. Paris is in flames. They smashed up the Arc de Triomphe. We've had 700,000 middle-class people going, can we have another vote? That's Britain for you. You should be incredibly grateful. Anyway, it's not a great advert for Europe. Mrs May going over and saying, could we have some concessions? Him going, no, we don't concede at all. Money, everybody? Money, no concessions from us.
Having swept into power
yes,
as a brand new kind of political leader, how is Macron viewed now?
He's really unpopular now. His popularity ratings are at an all-time low. And, of course, the worry is that the right is going to surge up again because he, you know, Marie Le Pen was his big threat. So I think there's a lot of people kind of thinking, well, this would be good for the far right. The other thing which is hard for him
is... It's going to be the chemise noire.
Oh, yes.
Some of you must have learned French.
These French jokes, they're just not working here, are they?
Yeah. No, we're going to make them work.
We'll keep going, we'll keep trying.
La plume de ma tante. I'm starting low.
But he kind of wanted to be the leader in Europe when Merkel stands down, but I don't think that's going to happen now because he's lost a lot of authority.
He thinks he's the new Napoleon. I mean, like that in that picture, everything is very grand, and he has, you know, the palaces are huge, and he wants to reinvent French pomp.
Do you think it's because he's small?
How do you know?
I'm guessing that has nothing to do with it.
The French could claim one victory this week. The famous Moulin Rouge Club in Paris, home of the Can-Can, won a claim to stop its name being used by the Moulin Rouge kebab shop in Gateshead. I kid you not. A copyright watchdog judged the owner of the restaurant to be morally reprehensible. Takeaway kebabs, pizzas and burgers conjure up none of the ambience of the Moulin Rouge, quite the reverse. So they were just doing it for some free publicity, which is unforgivable of the Moulin Rouge in Winlarton. Gateshead, that's Gateshead near Newcastle. Telephone 0191 414 0000. I'll be up there next week, guys. OK? Can't wait. The BBC has remade a British version of Les Miserables. What accent have they given the poor, angry French protesters?
Cockney accents, London accents, working class accents.
It's northern.
Geordie accents.
What was that?
Northern accents.
Northern accents, yes. The director, Tom Shankland, said, there are class divisions which we perceive on the basis of accents in our divided society. So well done, BBC. That'll help with that. Staying with international politics, Donald Trump. What's the next problem for him?
Well, Michael Cohen, his lawyer and his fixer, his chief fixer for the last 10, 12 years, has just gone to prison for essentially following Donald Trump's orders, doing what Donald Trump wanted him to do. If Donald Trump wasn't president at this point, he would be facing a jail sentence, and his family are in trouble as well.
Yep.
They're all going to end up in gilet orange.
It'll match his skin colour anyway. His popularity amongst the American population is slowly sinking. Even amongst the thickest ones are getting it.
Here's the court drawing of Cohen being sentenced. Look at that woman in the background.
Isn't that the Scream by Edward Morgan?
Even though Michael Cohen has admitted making the payments on Trump's behalf, Trump claims that the federal prosecutor's statement about Michael Cohen totally clears the president. Thank you, he added. Democrats can't find a smocking gun. No smocking gun. Trump was asked in a Reuters interview how he feels about the prospect of being impeached. How did he respond?
He said, well, you can't impeach me, I haven't done anything wrong. You know, he's just in terrible trouble from a variety of different sources, so it'll be a surprise if he's still president at the end of this 2 years.
I like the idea that when Kelly resigned, who was his chief of staff, they said, the only adult in the White House has left.
Yes.
In other American news, why did a newspaper, the Post-Journal, have to make a correction this weekend?
What did they say?
Well, it was actually because of an article they published about Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts finds life and her holes get better with age. Which it followed up...
Fingers crossed!
I think the text has been airbrushed.
Which it followed up the next day with this correction. A headline in Saturday's Post Journal should have read, Julia Roberts finds life and her roles get better with age. And finally, what did The Guardian issue a correction for recently?
Was it last year's losses?
In Saturday's edition, they published this note. A reader noted that our recipe called spaghetti with radicchio, fennel and rosemary didn't include spaghetti, fennel or rosemary. This is the news that riots continue on the streets of Paris. The riot police tried every method possible to disperse the angry mobs. In the end, the only thing that worked was filling a water cannon with English wine. Also this week in Dresden, Vladimir Putin's old Stasi ID card had been unearthed. Didn't he used to be in The Man from U.N.C.L.E.? So at the end of that round, 2 points each. Now on to round 2, the Christmas tree of news.
Fantastic.
Fingers on buzzers.
They've discovered that reindeers are colourblind. Essentially, they've discovered that reindeers can't tell the difference between red, blue, green, red, white, black, red, green, red. So that's why they can't play snooker.
Yeah, this is the news that Rudolph the reindeer is actually colourblind.
Yeah.
Scientists at the University of Exeter this week revealed at the Science of Christmas conference that all reindeers are colourblind as their eyes can't see red, orange or green. And neither can cyclists. What awkward questions does this raise for Rudolph?
Does it raise the question why a university's got such a stupid conference?
This is a miscarriage of justice.
Is it really?
All of Rudolph's classmates were innocent. They didn't laugh and call him names. I'm just putting the case for the defence here.
Are you willing to take the word of a fictional reindeer over truth?
Yes.
Oh, that's fair enough.
As the Express put it, Christmas shock claims Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer was bullied over nose are wrong.
How do you feel now, Ian? You side with the Express.
Good. What else is Rudolph not telling us then?
Oh, that he doesn't like carrots?
They're orange. He might think they're parsnips.
Imagine the horror. Imagine Christmas Day when you tried to dip a parsnip in some hummus. I'd rather die.
Rudolph is actually female because male reindeer have lost their antlers by late December. In other words, he's transgender. Oh, dear. What sad animal news emerged from Australia this week?
The biggest kangaroo ever is no longer the biggest kangaroo. He's fallen over, not getting up again.
He's a deceased kangaroo. He is no more.
He is no more, exactly.
He was very ripped, wasn't he? He was like sort of Arnold Schwarzenegger of kangaroos.
What was his name? Anyone?
George.
Roger.
Paul.
Roger.
Roger the kangaroo. I mean, it sounds like an instruction.
Yeah, he was Roger the ripped kangaroo, famous for his muscular physique. Sadly, he's died. How did Roger first become famous?
I think for doing a calendar or something?
Well, he's probably done a calendar, but no, that was not the first thing he did. It was because of this picture of him crushing a metal bucket.
He's very proud, isn't he? He's a very proud demeanour.
Apparently people have written, like, poems and stuff about him online. Like, they love him.
Yeah.
You can see why.
He'll make one more TV appearance as his balls are set to be eaten on the next series of I'm a Celebrity. Fingers on buzzers, teams. Tom.
Oh, well, you know, a lot of people use trolleys at Christmas, and they're going to ban them. Bad for the environment.
Are they?
Yeah. First it was the plastic bags, now it's the trolleys, next it's the whole supermarket.
Yes, it's the news that a tunnel in a Sainsbury's car park in Cornwall has become a visitor attraction. The tunnel started getting favourable reviews on TripAdvisor, becoming the top-rated attraction in Bude. What do you all think of Bude Tunnel, then, now you've had a glimpse of it? I don't feel any enthusiasm.
No, I don't feel like booking myself a ticket to...
Well, let's have a look what it looks like at Christmas, then. Hey, what about that?
Oh, that's amazing.
That's nice.
Oh, that's lovely. You'd be a bit annoyed, though, wouldn't you, if you were just trying to get your trolley out?
Staying with Christmas, how did a 5-year-old boy cause a bit of a stir when he turned up for his school's nativity play?
He came as Herod.
No. It was Alfie from Clackmannanshire was playing a shepherd, but his teacher noticed that the inflatable sheep he'd brought as a prop was, in fact, you've guessed it, a sex toy called a stag night bonking sheep. Let's have a look at Alfie with his new friend. Oh, dear.
It's got very big, like, arms. What are they called? Legs. Leg of lamb. An arm of lamb. You don't get an arm of lamb, do you?
No. Should we move on?
Yes.
Sounds good.
Yeah, this is the Bude Tunnel in Cornwall, which has been decorated with Christmas lights. At the ceremonial switching on of the lights in Cornwall, dozens of locals expressed their delight with a chorus of, ooh, ah. Which means, at the end of this round, it's Ian and Aisha 2, Paul and Tom 4. Time now for the odd one out round. Ian and Aisha, your 4 are Ballybrack Football Club, Winston Churchill, 258 Chinese marathon runners, and Bez from the Happy Mondays.
So, Bez was recently disqualified from a celebrity bargain hunt for faking the...
He had his girlfriend bid for the items that he had already bought in the car boot sale.
I'm guessing the marathon runners might have been cheating or some drugs or something like that.
You're on the right lines here.
They've all
the
cheated.
football club have done some cheating as well.
Who hasn't?
Winston Churchill.
You're kind of there. They've all broken the rules except for Winston Churchill, who was given an exemption from the rules so he could drink alcohol. At the time, in 1932, he was travelling through Prohibition-era America. At the start of his tour, Churchill was hit by a car and so got a doctor to write him a note saying, "This is to certify that the post-accident convalescence necessitates the use of alcoholic spirits."
That's been dictated by Churchill.
Bez from the Happy Mondays won an episode of Celebrity Bargain Hunt, only for them to have to refilm the ending after it was revealed that Bez had got his girlfriend to cheat by bidding on items on his behalf. Let's have a look at the moment he was caught out.
It is completely forbidden for friends or family members to bid on a team's item.
Fair enough.
And teams, it's this rule that has been broken by the red team.
No.
Well, Rich, what have you got to say for yourself?
Well, it was a genuine error. My girlfriend thought she was helping.
What about the size of the rule book for bargain? How were Ballybrack FC caught breaking the rules recently?
They don't seem to have a football pitch. They're just a big fence.
Are they a youth team and did they play a player that was over age or something?
Not
Something
quite.
to do with dives. They're always diving, aren't they, you footballers? You love it.
It's more to do with dying than diving.
Oh, someone
died?
died?
Not quite.
Oh, well, then I don't know.
Well, they faked someone's death, or they... Oh, right, they faked someone's death.
Indeed. Facing a tough game against Arklow Town, the club reported the death of one of their players, Fernando Nuno Lafuente, in order to postpone the game. A tactic which worked so well it led to other teams in the league holding a minute's silence for Nuno. There was an outpouring of grief from Ireland's football community and a furious tirade from Roy Keane questioning the player's commitment. In other sporting news, how did one cross-country runner's celebration go badly wrong this week? Let's have a look.
Jimmy Cressier in fine style coming away to win the gold medal for... Oh! Slow motion. I do the big... Oh, no. You know, how not to celebrate winning a major gold medal at the championships.
Winning in style. So how have 258 marathon runners broken the rules in China?
Did they not run the 26 miles? Or did they have mopeds?
Organisers of the Shenzhen Half Marathon caught 258 participants taking a shortcut with help from a local traffic helicopter. Here it is. In its coverage of the cheating at the Chinese marathon, the BBC website featured this photo. Though, to be on the safe side, the BBC lawyer insisted on the caption, "There is no suggestion that any of the runners pictured was involved in cheating." I'll bet one of them was. So Sue Me was the runner's name. They've all broken the rules, except for Winston Churchill, who was given an exemption from the rules so he could drink alcohol. Churchill routinely drank whiskey at breakfast, champagne at lunch, and wine and brandy at dinner. Blimey, no wonder he wanted to fight them on the beaches. At a recent marathon in China, a number of runners were caught cheating, according to The Independent. Long-distance runs are becoming increasingly popular in China, mainly among young children trying to escape from the iPhone factory. Paul and Tom, here are yours. Have a listen to this.
Everything I do it for you. You are the dancing queen, young and sweet, only 17.
Firstly, can you name all four?
The Smiths, This Charming Man.
Yes, one.
Wombling Merry Christmas. And then we had the Bryan Adams song.
Yeah, Everything I Do.
Everything I Do.
For
and
you.
the last one was, of course, ABBA with Dancing Queen.
Correct.
Which was recently, Theresa May came dancing onto the stage to that tune. Is that the clue as to what might be the odd one out? Does that give us the sort of right sort of area? Politicians adopting songs? So I'm imagining that nobody's really sort of ever adopted Wombling Merry Christmas. Unless there was an Eric Womble that once stood for a seat in Oldham or something. So,
You're quite wrong. It was the Liberal Party.
Did they?
Yeah, Vince Cable came on dressed as a Womble.
No, he didn't.
And refuses to take the outfit off.
But I would say that the Wombles is the odd one out because nobody's ever come on dancing to that or adopted it as a campaign political song.
Mm-hmm. Very good. They've all been picked on Desert Island Discs by a Tory party leader, except for Wombling Merry Christmas, which was written by a Tory. Singer, songwriter, music producer Mike Batt, A Wombling Merry Christmas was a chart hit in 1974 when apparently a lot of people bought it as a gift for their loved ones. The Wombles then spent the whole of Boxing Day picking up discarded copies from Benedict Common. As well as writing the Wombles theme tune, Batt also wrote 17 other Wombles hits. Name them. Actually, it doesn't say that.
Womble hit number one, Womble hit number two.
Who do you imagine wanted to take ABBA's Dancing Queen with them to their desert island?
It's not Theresa May?
It is Theresa May.
Oh, she really loves that song.
She meant it.
She really did. I wonder what she thinks of the Cher version.
I don't know.
Let's ask her.
She's not here.
I'm sure she could be. In about 2 weeks' time.
In her 2014 appearance on Desert Island Discs, she said she wanted something to jig up and down to, which would be even harder for now. She doesn't have a leg to stand on. Which Tory leader picked the Smiths song, This Charming Man?
Cameron, must be David Cameron.
Yep.
Yes.
Smiths guitarist Johnny Marr, who wrote the song, wasn't pleased, telling Radio 4 he shouldn't like us because we're not his kind of people. Morrissey's more UKIP nowadays, though, isn't he? Which Tory leader picked 1991's Everything I Do It For You by Bryan Adams?
John Major?
Michael Howard.
Michael Howard.
Oh, well done.
Correct answer.
Really?
Yes, he said he wanted to dedicate it to his wife, Sandra, for whom he said deserved all the credit for my achievements in politics. Cheers, Sandra. They've all been picked on Desert Island Discs by a Tory party leader, except for Wombling Merry Christmas, which was written by a Tory. Wombling Merry Christmas went to number 2 in the charts all the way back in 1974. Of course, in the 70s, they weren't the only people in the music business wandering around Wimbledon Common trying to pick things up. Talking on Desert Island Discs about Westminster culture, Theresa May admitted she wasn't clubbable. I think the DUP beg to differ. Which means at the end of this round, it's Ian and Aisha 4, Paul and Tom 5. Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication Carpenter's reading material of choice, Wood Carving Magazine. I read it on my Kindling. And we start with, what is a much maligned tool amongst woodcarvers?
Flamethrowers.
No.
Not flamethrowers.
Saw?
Buzzsaw.
A cut saw.
Circular saw.
No!
Hacksaw.
Come on, no!
I've never named so many tools.
Put us out of our misery. What saw is it?
A chainsaw!
Oh, that was a good game.
Wasn't it exciting? Wasn't it exciting?
Enough. Let's just finish there.
Next. Man in Texas arrested for telling children what?
The way to San Jose.
That Santa doesn't exist. He's lying.
Got it right. Man in Texas arrested for telling children Santa isn't real.
I hope they cut that bit. The average age of our viewers is about 6.
This week, a man in Cleburne, Texas, was arrested for standing in the street and shouting at children that Santa wasn't real. Following the arrest, the mayor of Cleburne said, "Don't mess with Santa." A red-faced, jolly old man bringing joy to millions. Of course he exists. He just won I'm a Celebrity. Next, man upset after seagull what?
Ignores his chips.
By Chekhov turns out to be quite badly produced.
Man upset after seagull took his cheese straws. This week, Scarborough local councillor Godfrey Allenson relived the moment he was mugged by a seagull. He told Teesside Live, "I went to the shops and got myself some cheese straws. I got one out the bag and the seagull came down and snatched it. It was scary. I can say that." Cheese straws can't be good for seagulls. They're a long way from their natural diet of landfill nappies and used cotton buds. Next, what release a surprising smash hit calendar for 2019?
The ERG.
The Spice Girls.
Woodcarvers of Rochdale.
It's Irish Farmers release a surprising smash hit calendar for 2019. This is ever-popular Irish Farmer calendar, which is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but it does have the best idea yet for the Irish border. Next, woman who married ghost of a 300-year-old pirate, what?
Got ghosted.
Has a phantom pregnancy.
No.
Has a phantom. You haven't had a joke for so long, you don't know what it sounds like anymore.
Woman who married ghost of a 300-year-old pirate wants a divorce. This is Amanda Teague from County Louth in Ireland who wants to divorce the ghost of a Haitian pirate that she married earlier this year. Here's the happy couple. I wonder what sex with a 300-year-old pirate is like. Let's ask Jerry Hall. And finally, Morrison's is selling what for Christmas?
100% pure grade heroin.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, no.
No,
I misread it.
I misread it. Jacob Rees-Mogg.
No.
Easter eggs.
Is it that, like, when you get, like, a chicken inside a pigeon, inside a turkey, inside a cow?
Can you get a chicken inside a pigeon?
I think in Morrison's you probably can.
Morrison's is selling 3-course dinner in a pasty for Christmas. According to the Metro, it's a grab-and-go dinner for people who are not interested in the whole sit-down shebang. If you eat one of those, you'll be having the sit-down shebang on Boxing Day.
This is it.
So the final scores are Paul and Tom have 8 points. Ian and Aisha have 4 points.
Very good. Very good.
I know, I'm sorry. It's my bad luck. Bring back Judy.
But before we go, there's just time for the caption competition. Ian and Aisha have this.
Renovations in Jacob Rees-Mogg's sex dungeon.
Pull the wall further towards you. I'm trying to make this a semi-detached.
Paul and Tom,
yeah,
Get that.
This isn't what I meant when I said I want to tickle the ivories.
That chap's playing my cousin. It didn't happen for real. The dog saying, I've just had the weirdest dream.
And I leave you with news that at a Christmas garden party in Windsor, Sir Philip Green misreads the dress code on the invitation. News reaches the boss of Amazon that they will have to pay more tax this year. And at an EU summit, as Brexit negotiations drag on still further, Angela Merkel checks to see whether the anvil is still in place.